Adam.
I'm Lauren.
I'm James.
I'm Chris. You recently bought a used 2-year-old automobile, but now you're sitting at a green light and the car's not going anywhere. You have it towed back to the local mechanic just to find out it's in need of a $3,000 to $4,000 transmission. But just your luck, it's out of warranty, so this is coming out of your pocket. Now, with new cars, you know, well, just about everybody knows that you're going to have a $2,000 to $3,000 loss just driving it off the lot. But you also have the guarantee and the warranty that this car is going to be worry-free. Buying used, these worries often become major expenses, resulting in a loss of vehicle or just unplanned cash advances towards the car. If you have tight finances, I'm going to show you that buying new is your only option. We're going to go over the drawbacks and benefits of buying used. We're then going to discuss the same about buying used. And then, when I'm all done, we're going to tie the two together and you're going to determine what's better, buying used or buying new. Now that you're ready to buy, let's discuss the benefits of buying new. New vehicles are a sound investment. Despite the fact that the value is going to depreciate, you're going to have a dependable vehicle and you're going to have a predictable vehicle. Hyundais have one of the best warranties in America right now. They have a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. I personally have a Hyundai, and I can tell you I haven't needed to use the warranty over maybe a $200 to $300 repair. But it hasn't cost me a thing because of the warranty. Ferrari, even the worst in the United States, has a 2-year warranty, and for that time you're not responsible for any repairs. Now, don't get me wrong, you're still responsible for the consumables like brake pads and stuff like that, but you're going to have these in a used car too. The benefit of buying new is these consumables will be in a new state, whereas a used, somebody's already used part of that consumable's lifespan, so you don't know where it is in the lifespan. If you do have a breakdown with a new car, it's covered under the warranty, and the car manufacturer will pay for it for you. Consumer Reports states that 97% of Asian vehicles are reliable. So what that means, if you need to buy a new vehicle, that you might want to go Asian because it's likely not going to break down on you. Now, Europe and America have a 64% reliability rating. Now, you need to worry about it breaking down, obviously, but the manufacturer is going to cover it, and oftentimes, if it's a good car manufacturer, they'll provide you a rental car. New cars also have a lot of rebates associated with them, incentives and things of that nature. Cars.com says that you can find the rebates and discounts $500 to $5,000. Now, even if you still think a new car is a ripoff, let's discuss used. Used cars are ticking time bombs that the maintenance is often not completed on, or it's just not completed to the standard of the car company or yourself. Used cars are driven to the point of failure and then often bandaged for resale. I know personally, if I've taken a used car to the dealer to trade it in, there's more issues than I let on when I take it to the dealer. I want to trade it in and get rid of the problem, as the case with one of my cars. When you buy a used car from a dealer, you have people like me that have dropped it off. The dealership has bandaged it to whatever level they want to, basically cosmetic, to get it out the door. So you have the biggest chance of getting a bad vehicle from a dealer. Personal Finance for Dummies states that with a lot of research, you can get a used car that's just as reliable as a new car. But remember, these cars are often not maintained the way you want them to, so you need a little bit of luck to make sure your car is as reliable. If your car breaks down, if you buy it from a dealer, a used car from a dealer, if your car breaks down, they often come with a 90-day warranty. Now, that's awesome if your car breaks down within the 90 days, but if not, you're still responsible for paying for all those repairs. So if you are set on going used, you should probably buy from a person so you can actually talk to them and get the real history of the car. Top Gear recently bought a bunch of used cars. They bought 3 of them actually, and they sent them to a forensics lab to have them tested for stuff inside the car. 2 of the 3 cars had bodily fluids, and 1 even had fecal matter. Used cars could be a good choice as a second vehicle, but as a first car, it's not a good choice because you have a lot of unexpected repairs and you depend on the vehicle. So if you only have 1 car, your best bet is to go new. Everybody knows that new cars have never been beaten. New cars are maintained the way you want them to be. If you are not nice to your car, it will show. Usually they're not going to break down under the warranty, but if you treat your car the right way, it's going to last even longer than the warranty and you'll never have to worry about it. New cars are free of bits of the previous owner. Basically, you're not going to have leftover bits of skin, hair, and sweat and stuff like that. Recently, well, actually, I've had a lot of experience buying used cars. One of the most notable examples of that is a 2002 Volkswagen Jetta that I had. I bought it off a used car dealership, and pretty much as soon as the warranty expired, I started to have issues. The first issue was a coil pack. The last issue I had on it was a clutch went bad. I did all these repairs myself and still paid over $2,000 to do it. And that's using aftermarket parts and, like I said, doing the labor myself. Now, had I paid a dealer to do that and used the OEM parts, I would have been looking at $4,000 to $5,000. The value of the car was only $8,000. So, if I add all that together, I'm sitting somewhere over $12,000 to $13,000, and I could buy a new car for that price and not have any of the problems in the first place. I wouldn't have had to repair the car or find a replacement while it was being repaired. I've also had plenty of other issues buying used cars. Most recently, here on the, I'm in Portugal right now. Most recently, I had bought a used car, and the timing belt went bad on it, which resulted in an engine failure. I paid $800 to $1,000 for the car, and now I have to pay another $300 to get rid of the car, and also have to find a replacement car because of the failure. So now I'm sitting over $2,000, and I'm still throwing parts at the car I recently bought. This is the most recent piece that I'm replacing. This is only a $300 part, but like I said, you got to pay somebody to install it or do it yourself, which is time. I'm going to choose to pay somebody yourself, which is going to cost about $300. So now with all that, I'm sitting upwards of $3,000 for used cars and parts for used cars or getting rid of them. And I have a semi-reliable car that could break down tomorrow. So I don't think that's the greatest option. Car and Driver also points out a good fact that when you buy a new car, you get the latest and greatest in the safety features. A notable feature this year is tire pressure monitoring and stability control. What these do is prevent rollovers. I don't know if you guys remember the Ford Explorer issues a couple years back, but they were flipping like crazy. These two things alone prevent that. I mean, if you know your tires are low, you're probably not going to drive it and you're going to get it fixed. So, and that'll keep you much more stable if you have to do an emergency reaction on the road, preventing a flip. These are features that are standard this year, but last year in a used car weren't standard. So if you bought a premium vehicle, maybe you find them, maybe you won't. So that's one of the greatest benefits of buying new. Now that you know it's in your best interest to buy new, and you know all the benefits of why you would, I just don't understand why we buy used with all of those unexpected risks. When you buy new, you get to do the first everything. The first oil change, the first burnout in the car. You get also to put the first scratch in there. If you buy used, you don't get to do all those first things. Somebody's already done that. Somebody might have been doing burnouts all across their parking lot with them. But they've probably also put a few scratches on it for you too, so you're not too worried if that happens. And you also get the added benefit of some fecal matter. Yuck. When you buy new, you have little to no on-plan expenses. Most of the parts you're putting in there are stuff you know. If you're out there doing burnouts, you're going to know you're putting tires in there sooner. But if you're doing that with a used car, you're going to have the same issues. When you buy used, there's all kinds of unplanned expenses. If the transmission goes, you pay for it. If the engine goes, you pay for it. With a new car, all that stuff is covered under the car manufacturer's warranty. Now, if you're still interested in going used, that's fine. If you have a bunch of extra money and a bunch of extra time, go used. With the proper research, a new car is a compelling alternative to a used 2 to 3 year old used car. So with that in mind, buy new. Thank you guys.